discussed our CTC, we have discussed about our salary allowances, and I'm sure you've been waiting to understand the income tax deductions which will further reduce your income tax liability. As Shelby Fredman has rightly said, income tax time is when you test your power of deductions. So let's understand what are the income tax deductions you can claim in your returns and reduce your tax liability. So there are many tax deductions which are available to an individual, starting with the standard deduction of 50,000 rupees, then your ATC deductions of up to 1.5 lakh rupees, further your ATD deductions in health insurance for 50,000 rupees, ATDD to ATDDB, which are further health deductions which can go up to 1,25,000 rupees. You have deductions for investments in NPS, which we've discussed earlier, up to 50,000 rupees. Deductions on education loan, electric car loan, home loan is also available, and then interest income that you earn, you have a deduction in that as well. And finally, if you're making any kind of donations, then within the law there are certain deductions available to you as well. So tax deductions help you reduce your amount from your taxable income and save taxes. So the first deduction which has been recently introduced is standard deduction. Standard deduction means a flat deduction which is available to only salaried individuals. It was introduced back in the budget of 2018 in lieu of the exemption of the transport allowance and medical reimbursements. So basically a lot of people believe that the standard deduction is in addition. No, it's in lieu of these two deductions which were earlier allowed. So basically the impact of this on a salaried person has not really been that much, but this move has definitely reduced the compliance from the employer and for us, because we would have to keep records of medical bills and transport expenses to claim those deductions. So basically the intention of the legislature could be to reduce the administrative work, but having said that, if you're a salaried individual, you would get a flat deduction of 50,000 rupees. Now let's move on to the next set of deductions which are available under section 80C of up to 1.5 lakh rupees. Now this deduction is the most popular and the most favorite section of all taxpayers. If you don't know anything about taxes, you absolutely know everything about section 80C. So let's quickly go through the options that are available for you. Now when you want to claim an ATC deduction, you can make certain investments in the options that are provided in the law, or you can make the specified expenses. So the investment options are your contribution to PF, Public Provident Fund, Sukanya Samriddhi scheme, where you're voluntarily contributing over and above your EPF, that is Voluntary Provident Fund, is also covered under section 80C. The National Pension Scheme investments, and you have tax saving mutual funds of ELSS, you have fixed deposits, and then you have insurances, ULIPs and other pension plans. And for expenses that you incur under section 80C, if you are paying any tuition fee for your children, right, up to 2 children can be claimed under section 80C. Stamp duty and registration charges for the new house. So basically the year in which you buy a new house, you can pay the stamp duty and registration charges and not invest anywhere else. It's basically helping you with your cash flows and also saving taxes. And the principal payments on your home loan can also be claimed under section 80C. But do remember that the limit is up to 1.5 lakh rupees. So your investments amount or 1.5 lakh rupees, whichever is lower, will be claimed as a deduction. Now from our side, if we have to recommend you which are the investments that you should claim under section 80Cs, the first investment would be your contribution towards Employee Provident Fund, because I'm guessing most of us do contribute towards EPF, so just ensure that that is taken care of. After that, if your investments permit you to invest more in debt, then go for Public Provident Fund or go for Sukanya Samriddhi scheme where you have a girl child. Rest you can invest in ELSS, and where you have term insurance policies or life insurance policies, the premiums that you pay for them can also be claimed as a tax saving investment. Please note that it's time that we change our mindset and don't make investments only for tax deductions, but make investments which also fit our entire financial planning and give us the benefit of tax deduction. So don't go ahead and buying insurance policies only for the purpose of tax saving. As you just saw, there are many other investment options that you have. After 80C, the next one is NPS tax deductions. Now under section 80, now for NPS investments, you can claim an additional benefit of 50,000 rupees by contributing towards it. So do note that for your NPS, you can invest up to 2 lakh rupees in NPS, out of which 1.5 lakh rupees can be claimed under section 80C and 50,000 rupees can be claimed under section 80CCD. Basically, the idea is that if you're already investing in other 80C options, that is your EPF, ELSS, then you can invest additional 50,000 rupees in NPS to claim additional tax deductions. Now the next one is health insurance. The government is encouraging you to buy health insurance policies by giving you a tax deduction for the same. Now the deduction that you get would be towards the premium amount of your spouse, your children, or your parents' health insurances. Now the limit for this deduction ranges from 25,000 rupees to 1 lakh rupees depending on your age and your parents' age. You can see the chart on the screen to see what are the limits specified. Where your insurance premiums are less than the limits under which you fall, you can claim a deduction of 5,000 rupees towards preventive health checkup. Do remember to keep the documents and bills in place for your preventive health checkups to claim these deductions. Apart from the health insurance deductions that we just discussed, there are more deductions available to you in certain specific scenarios where you are spending money towards maintenance and treatment of a person with certain disabilities which are defined in the law. Then you can claim deductions up to 1,25,000 rupees depending on the severity of the disability. And if you have incurred any expenses towards medical treatment of certain specified diseases, then you can also claim additional deductions for such expenses. Again, the same limits are specified based on your age. Now the diseases for this deduction has been specified in the Act. They are basically neurological, cancer, renal failure, and many more which are specified. It is very important that you have the proof of the treatment and a doctor's certificate when you are claiming these deductions. So these are very case-specific scenarios which may not be applicable to everyone, but in case if you have that, you can claim these deductions. Now after claiming the deductions for all your health issues, the next set of deductions are available for your loans. So there are different types of loans that you're taking. Where you're taking an education loan, any interest that you're paying towards the EMI of the education loan can be claimed as a deduction. There is no limit for this. If you are buying an electric vehicle, then this is a relatively new deduction which was introduced. If you're buying an electric vehicle, then you can claim deductions up to 1.5 lakh rupees. Now please note that this deduction is available only if you buy the vehicle till 31st March 2023. The next deduction is for your EMI payments on your home loan. So the principal portion of your EMI can be claimed under section 80C up to 1.5 lakh rupees, and the interest that you pay on your home loan is also allowed as a deduction up to 2 lakh rupees. So until a few years there was no cap on this interest on home loan, but please note that now there is a cap. So buying a house is no longer a super tax planning event, but yes, it does give you a deduction of up to 2 lakh rupees for interest and 1.5 lakh rupees under section 80C. Now apart from these deductions, there are some small deductions that you can avail on your interest on savings bank account. So you can claim a deduction of up to 10,000 rupees or the actual interest income that you've earned from your savings bank account. And if you are a senior citizen, then you can get a deduction of up to 50,000 rupees on the interest that you earn from any source, right? So even from fixed deposits or your bonds, if you're earning any interest as a senior citizen, up to 50,000 rupees you can claim a deduction for. You get deductions for donations that you make to the specified institutes. Now, these donations have to be made to the institutes which are specified in the law or which satisfy the conditions which are specified in the law, and it's not necessary that every donation that you make will be allowed as a 100% deduction. So it's a good practice that you check this session in detail and understand what are the limits that are there, and if you are donating with an additional benefit of claiming tax deductions, then you must review this same. These are the tax deductions that you can claim as an individual over and above the allowances that we discussed in the earlier part of this course. You can read more about it in detail in the articles which are attached to every discussion in the description box. So currently we've discussed these deductions in brief because you're just starting out and all these deductions may not be applicable to you. Say education loan deductions or your basic ATC deductions are the ones which would be directly applicable to you. But as you move ahead in your career, your income increases, your other lifestyle responsibilities such as buying a house also comes into the picture, then further deductions will be of more importance to you. So it's important that as and when that comes to play, do read about it in further detail and make the best use of it.